$25 billion. That's what somebody spent building a brand new district in the middle of Manhattan. And somehow, with all that money, all that glass, all those luxury towers, they ended up with a place most New Yorkers wouldn't actually want to live in. Not because it's dangerous, not because it's ugly, because it doesn't feel like anything at all. $6 billion. That's how much New York City taxpayers pumped into Hudson Yards, in tax breaks, subsidies, and infrastructure deals handed directly to one of the wealthiest real estate developers in the country. You'd think, $6 billion, that's serious money. Maybe some affordable housing, maybe schools, maybe something that actually helps regular people. You know what New York got instead? A 40% property tax discount for luxury skyscrapers, a 30-year sweetheart deal that runs until 2044, and, this is the part that should make your blood boil, exactly 107 units of affordable housing out of an entire district, 107. Plain and simple, that's the deal they cut. Picture this. You're sitting in a public housing project in Harlem. You've got no idea what's happening downtown. And meanwhile, state officials are drawing a map, a gerrymandered connect the dots map, that links your neighborhood to Hudson Yards. Why? Because Hudson Yards needed to qualify as a distressed area to unlock cheaper financing from foreign investors. So they stretched the map 100 blocks north, included your building, called it economically distressed, and funneled over $1 billion in foreign investment money into Manhattan's most expensive zip code. That program was supposed to help Harlem. Hudson Yards ate Harlem's lunch. It wasn't right, but it was completely legal. And that tells you everything you need to know about how this district got built. Next time somebody tells you a mega development is good for the whole city, ask them to show you the map. Here's what they built for that money: luxury apartments, luxury offices, luxury hotels, luxury retail, and, to make sure nobody felt left out, a luxury mall in Manhattan. In a city that already has more high-end shopping than anywhere on the planet. The anchor tenant? Neiman Marcus. They signed a 50-year lease. 50 years. That's confidence. That's vision. That's 16 months actually, because Neiman Marcus went bankrupt and walked out the door before most people even knew the place existed. 50 years of commitment, gone in the time it takes to watch 2 NFL seasons. Picture this. It's March 2019. Grand opening night. Liza Minnelli is performing. Crowds are pouring in. Everybody's saying this changes everything. 16 months later, the anchor store is dark. Wells Fargo buys the whole space for $550 million and turns it into office space. The mall's anchor tenant became a bank floor. You genuinely cannot make this up. The old saying goes, all hat, no cattle. Hudson Yards had the hat. The biggest, shiniest, most expensive hat you've ever seen. What it didn't have was the one thing every real neighborhood needs: people who actually show up every day because they have a reason to. If you've ever driven through a brand new development and thought, why does this feel like a movie set? You already know exactly what happened here. So, who actually lives there? The honest answer, not many people. And the ones who do aren't exactly your average New Yorker. One-bedroom apartments start at over $4,000 a month. And the building at 15 Hudson Yards? They don't just offer concierge service. They will stock your refrigerator. They will water your plants. Because a significant chunk of these buyers aren't living there full-time. They're parking money in glass towers while the rest of New York figures out how to pay rent. It's not really a neighborhood. For a lot of buyers, it's a savings account with a view. And here's what that means practically. When the people who own a place don't actually live there, the streets stay quiet. The restaurants don't fill up on a Tuesday. The dry cleaner never opens because there's no one dropping off shirts. You end up with a district that looks full on paper and feels empty on the ground. That's not a coincidence. That's what happens when you build for investors instead of people. Here's something urban planners have known for decades. You want to know what makes a neighborhood real? Not the buildings. Not the price per square foot. It's the dry cleaner that's been there for 30 years. The diner where the guy behind the counter knows your order. The corner store. The school down the block, the park where kids actually play, stuff that can't be designed on a spreadsheet, stuff that takes time. Hudson Yards thought of everything: concierge services, high-end dining, a 7-story retail center, a subway extension. They literally built platforms over active railroad tracks. That is genuinely impressive. But you can't order a neighborhood from a catalog. You can't schedule culture for a Tuesday. Greenwich Village didn't become Greenwich Village because somebody planned it. It happened over decades. block by block, generation by generation. Nobody says, let's spend the weekend in Hudson Yards, unless they're going to take a photo and leave. Because the West Village, Soho, the Lower East Side, those places have something Hudson Yards is still waiting for. Soul, and soul is the one thing you cannot buy, even with $25 billion. If you're thinking about a place to actually put down roots, that difference matters more than any amenity package ever will. There's a line from a 1989 movie that basically wrote the business plan for this place. If you build it, they will come. In the movie, it worked out great. Beautiful film. In real life, Forest City, Malaysia, built for 700,000 people, currently home to a few thousand. Ordos, China, designed for 1 million residents, called a ghost city within years of opening. Master planned, fully financed, completely empty. Every single one built on the same assumption. Make it impressive enough, and people will naturally show up. They don't. Not without the daily infrastructure of real life. The jobs that aren't in finance. The schools that aren't private. The coffee shop that isn't $14. The difference is Hudson Yards is in Manhattan, so office demand saved it. BlackRock is there. Meta is there. Deloitte just signed an 800,000 square foot lease. The offices are doing fine. But an office district and a neighborhood are two completely different things. One you commute to, the other you come home to. Right in the center of it all, there is a structure. 16 stories, 154 flights of stairs, 2,500 steps going up, and then back down again. It cost $260 million to build. It is a staircase. That is the whole thing. The vessel was supposed to be the symbol of everything Hudson Yards represented. Instead, it became more famous than the entire district around it, which is maybe the most Hudson Yards thing that's ever happened. After spending $25 billion, the thing everyone remembers is the staircase. It sat closed for 3 years, reopened in October 2024 with a steel mesh retrofit. The very top remains closed permanently. A $260 million monument to the idea that if you make something expensive enough, people will find meaning in it. Sometimes they do. Sometimes, you just end up with the world's most expensive leg workout. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Hudson Yards is not a failure. Not by the numbers. The offices are 90% leased. Retail is 93% occupied. The engineering alone, platforms over active railroad tracks, is one of the most impressive construction achievements in modern American history. By every metric a developer cares about, it worked. And yet, ask most New Yorkers what they think of it. Sterile, cold, soulless, financially valuable, emotionally empty. The High Line was a rusting railway nobody wanted. Now it's one of the most visited spots in the city. Maybe Hudson Yards gets there too. But you cannot manufacture that from the top down. You can build the glass. You can build the towers. You can spend $25 billion on something that looks, from a distance, exactly like a neighborhood should look. A neighborhood isn't something you build. It's something that grows. And growth doesn't follow a master plan drawn up in a boardroom. $25 billion. And the most important thing, they still can't buy it.